Okay, so a bit of an interesting one, this one. It started life as a GMC Sierra 1500. It's then been built by muscle car specialists up here in the Northeast as their demo truck, if you like, to show what they can do. Their order book is now full with about 10 or 12 similar trucks, so they haven't got time for their own car. Hence why they're going to sell this one and build another one when it's done. Like I say, based on a GMC Sierra 1500, it's been fitted with a LS injected Chevrolet engine. So obviously much more modern V8 than the old carburetor car that it would have been. With a specialist transmission, torque converter, management, and a whole load of other stuff which we'll list in the description, but it has been gone through front to back. They've then given it this satin paint job, which is lovely. And then a whole load of other parts, like, for example, foam-filled fuel cell, relocated battery with cut-off, and a whole load of other bits. But what we'll do in this video is we'll go around and we'll look at the bodywork and everything like that. And then in the description, we're going to detail everything that's been done to it. I've driven this thing down the road a couple of times because, well, why wouldn't you? It's turned up and it makes a loud noise, so I'm going to take it for a drive. I've driven quite a lot of old American muscle cars, modified muscle cars, pickup trucks, that sort of stuff. I have genuinely never driven one that drives as well as this does. Straight, happy, there's no wandering from the steering. The acceleration is absurd. The noise is fantastic, but the brakes work with it, the steering works with it, the suspension's lovely. I mean, you floor it and it pulls off in a straight line, which is, I think that's the first quick pickup truck I've ever driven that does that. But like I say, well, I could waffle on for about an hour about this thing, so I think it's brilliant. But we'll start by looking at the bodywork, and then, like I say, look at the description. We'll detail everything that's been done to it. So it has had a respray in this sort of satin grey, which is lovely. If we start on this front driver's side corner, so left-hand side, I mean, there's not really any bodywork issues to point out at all. If we look inside there, it's all lovely and clean, apart from a little bit of road grime. It does have these nice Chevy steels on it with brand new Cooper Cobra tyres on it. They have blacked the factory badges out, which is a nice touch. Again, obviously it's had a full respray, but the doors, everything that have been put back on lovely. The panel gaps are really, really good. If we look under there, all nice and straight. Have a proper look underneath, you can see it's all had the proper treatment everywhere. Very straight, clean thing. If we look at this body line, which is always a good telltale sign, that's not full of filler. It's nice and sharp all the way down that line. All the chrome work's been replaced, stainless, so that's all gleaming. It's going to be a relatively quick video on the bodywork on this because there's nothing really to whinge about because it's pretty much brand new. Obviously, it's been an advert for their business, so they wanted it right to show you what they can do. Inside under the bed and everything there, all nice and clean. So you can see that sort of clever suspension and stuff on the back. The bed has been done in the same colour but with a texture like a Raptor, which is nice. These inner wheel wells and everything are like brand new, obviously, as you'd expect. Going around the back, it's had new tail lights, new rear bumper, again in stainless, which is immaculate, as you can see. They've left the GMC badge on there, which is a nice touch. If we drop this tailgate down, we can have a better look at what's going on in here. Like I say, all this in here, it's all been wrapped in this textured paint. So Raptor is the brand that most people tend to use because it is super hard wearing, it's very good. And then you've got this stainless steel battery box with an isolator there. And then you've got this fuel cell, so it's foam filled, fast fill, all that sort of stuff. I did put some fuel in it the other day because obviously, as you can imagine, it's fairly thirsty, but it just fills it like a normal tank, dead easy. And again, inside this bed all the way around, all lovely and clean. And coming down this passenger side, again, same story, all nice and clean all the way around. Nothing at all to whinge about. I'd like to try and find some sort of fault or flaw, just to try and show you that this thing's a normal car, but there really isn't anything at all to whinge about. Door gap all the way down there is lovely. The gap from the bed to the cab again, perfect. Oh yeah, there's a little tiny mark in the paint there. Finally found something, which I imagine will wipe off as well. So we haven't really got that far. New chrome trips around here. The windows have been blacked out on the trim. Slight tint on the glass, which is sort of like the factory tint. It's not blacked out or murdered out or anything like that. New stainless on the wing mirrors, and again those black badges. New seals around the windows, and they've left it black, so there's no chrome around the window. But it does have a little bit of chrome here and there, so a little bit on the arches, wing mirrors, handles and bumpers. Another new bumper on the front, which is a stainless steel one. And then this huge grille's all been polished up with freshened up headlights and everything in there as well. Massive expanse of metal on the bodywork, on the bonnet, and it's lovely and smooth. It actually looks a bit sort of stripy on the camera, but it doesn't look anywhere near as bad as that in person. Obviously you'll see on the photos what it really looks like. We'll have a look at the interior. So standard GMC bench seat. They've had it retrimmed to look fairly standard actually, but it's super comfy. They've put new foam in it. It's really, really good. Lovely big clear back window there. Smaller steering wheel, but it does have power steering, so you've got no issues with maneuvering it. And then as far as the management goes, they've got this Terminator X system here, which if we put the ignition on, you'll see. So it powers up. And that tells you everything from your revs, temperatures, amount of fuel going into it, all of the general management for the system. And then they put the digital gauges in. So you've got your miles per hour and your revs. That gives you clock, and then it gives you oil temperature and a few other bits. And then obviously you've got your odometer there. So it's done 144 miles. And then you've still got your fuel, temp, oil and volts. Again, these are all working and correct for the engine. And they've all done to match, so they all look correct. You've then got this nice chrome strip along on the dash. The dash itself, the top has no cracks or anything along it, which is quite common with these sort of trucks. You do have a small hole in the fascia here, which you can just about see where the wiring for the Terminator comes through, so it probably wants a little finishing trim or something along there, really, if you're going to be picky about it. And then the door card on the driver's side does have this little mark there, so they're the original door cards. Go around and have a look at the passenger side. And then we'll have a look under the bonnet at what's going on over there. So again, original door card on the passenger side, pretty clean generally. It has had a new sort of vinyl flooring put down, which is really nice. And again, that dash inside. The ashtray does stay up. If you slam the door, it'll pop down. It's just, the catch is probably just a little bit loose. If we tighten that up, it'll probably stay up. So we'll lift the bonnet and have a look at what's going under there. Like I said, they're sort of LS specialists up here in the northeast. They're pretty well known. They actually drove this up to a car show we had a few weeks ago to show us it. Which was about 40 miles away. Drove up no problem at all. So there we have it. Obviously huge bonnet, underside of the bonnet's all nice and clean. And there you have it, LS engine. It's got some Vortec bits on it, but you can see from the conversion, things like the manifolds, or because we're on a truck, the headers, if you want to call them that, are a lovely custom job. Huge radiator. And then obviously servo assisted brakes, power steering, all that sort of stuff. You can see the unit down there. We'll get it started up. If you're wearing headphones, you might want to turn it down slightly because it's not quiet, but it's kind of the whole point of this thing. So the management on this obviously will control any choke or anything like that it needs. You can sort of hear it idling quite happy there. But if we point the camera towards the back, and more importantly the microphone towards the back, and give it a rev, you'll hear this thing. So like I said, not quiet at all. It's actually quite civilized when you're in it. It doesn't give you a headache or anything like that, but you are aware when it's going down the road. Like I say, we'll detail in the description everything that's been done to the truck. It's the sort of thing I suggest you come and have a look, but we can do video call viewings if you need to, if you're a million miles away. Any inquiries, any questions, please get in touch. Thank you.